Hey, everybody, welcome in to Spitballing with Sammy B. And again, we are live for the fifth Monday of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Luncheon Club season, if you will. We are back at Tozzis on 12th. A great job by the folks at the Pro Football Hall of Fame last week. We were there with the guest speaker, Joe DeLamalure, and we had a great turnout. Everybody had a great lunch, a great time, and looking forward to heading back there, obviously. Coming up here, I believe it's the third week in November coming up, so we're looking forward to that. All right, Sammy B here, TJ there, as we are spitballing on this Monday. And as usual, before we go live to the podium around noon for our guest speaker, which is our very own Jimmy Ballard today, from the Ballard Quarterback Academy, College Football Hall of Famer, standout at the University of Mount Union, and of course a big member of our doings here with Stark Media. We've got Jim Ballard coming up today from the podium about 12:10 after they get the announcements in and the Pledge of Allegiance and all the cool things they do here each and every Monday at Tozzis. So we'll do our little rewind, if you will, before we get things moving. And usually we go, let me slow this down a bit. Usually the plan is to talk about a Browns loss and how they did it. And then we kind of go college, then we kind of go high school. Not today. Cleveland, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it with a smile on my face. The Guardians, Indians, are moving on to the Big Apple on Tuesday. The big fellow just caught that one. They're going to the Big Apple on Tuesday. Sneaky Pete. And they're going to play the Yankees in a best-of-5 American League divisional series. I will sit here and I'll eat a little crow. I said on Friday morning that the Indians were going to come up short. And I had a couple of reasons why I thought they would. Number one was this would have been the first time they will have played in front of a packed house since opening day. And we know what happens when you fill up Progressive Field. Sometimes things get a little tight, okay? Number two, the Tampa Bay Rays have one of the greatest pitching staffs, I think, in Major League Baseball. And we have been known to go on slides hitting at times. So I thought, okay, that's going to go against us as well. Number three, I just didn't think we were going to have enough to take care of business. And you know what? I was wrong once, twice, three times. I'm out, strike three. And I am happy to be wrong. I'll sit here and I'll eat the crow, and we'll move on. I thought the Cleveland Guardians had a spectacular weekend. A Cleveland team in a Cleveland venue when the chips were down came through. I thought that was awesome because you know what? We just don't see that. How many times have we seen a Cleveland team at home when the chips were on the table, whether it was a first round, a second round, a third round, AFC Championship game, World Series game, whatever. So the guards came through. Tito pushed them through. And if you were there on either one of those days, especially on Saturday, you had to have been absolutely ecstatic at what you saw. I'm here to tell you that a 2-hour and 16-minute game on Friday and then almost 5 hours on Saturday, and the fellas came through. And old SpongeBob ended it, and the Guardians are going to New York. TJ, I also was on record on Friday morning via the Stansberry Show with our partners at iHeart on Rock 106.9. I said, if, and I don't think they will, but if the Guardians beat the Rays, I've got them going to the World Series because I thought that would be the tough one. Yankees don't have the pitching that Cleveland does. The Astros don't have the pitching that Cleveland does. So I like our chances, and I don't care. We don't have home field anymore. I don't care. I think our pitching is so damn good and superior that if we have to play a couple of more 1-0, 2-1 games, we can do it.
Right.
Nuts.
And how interesting is it? I mean, the one thing that kind of gets lost in all of Oscar's glory, smoking that home run in the 15th, is that he did it off of Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. People just, you see him walk off, you know what he did for us back when we were the Indians.
Right.
And a lot of people will sit here, they've told me, they said, it's a given. When you change your name, you get an all-star game and you get the World Series.
Who said that to you?
Yeah.
I think it might have been me. I think it might have been me a couple of here.
So, I mean,
change your logo, we'll give you an all-star game. Change your name and bow to the political correctness, we'll give you a shot at a World Series. Oh, well, here we are. But
I think with the youth that we have, I think with the energy that we have right now coming off of that game, well, I'll tell you what, man, the Yankees better be watching out. You know, we've got the potential with young hot bats and the pitching to back it. Man, how cool was it? I don't know if you caught this. Cleveland.com did a great job covering some of the after shenanigans.
They did.
Tito riding the Vespa through downtown.
Yes.
And how about the catcher, Austin Hedges, coming out, no shirt on, doesn't look like a professional athlete, smoking a cigar, just taking a stroll around the inside of the park, you know, having fun, enjoying the moment.
Yeah, he's a beauty. Austin Hedges is a beauty with a capital B.
That was fun.
But
that was good for Cleveland.
It was good for Cleveland. It erased a little bit of the, we did it again, woe is us kind of thing. It erased a little bit of it, at least until Tuesday. So, and I think also, TJ, the schedule sets up nice for us because off yesterday, off today, play Tuesday, off Wednesday, play Thursday, off Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday at home. And then there's the quick trip back to New York on Monday if we need to go with a deciding game 5. So I think it sets up well for the Guardians because now between Quantrill, Savali, Bieber, McKenzie, and our pen, I think we can do this. And how about the pitching staff? How about we just and don't forget about Plesac too. Don't forget about Plesac, who's after he busted up his hand after pounding a pitching mound after giving up a home run a month ago. I think you can put him in the mix certainly. But just the way this team continues to play, the moment does not seem like it's too big for him, and I don't think that it is. And again, how ironic we win with a home run, not a home run hitting team. We're a singles, doubles, stolen base, suicide squeeze, bump the guy over, defy the shift kind of a team, and that's how they won the ball game. But you're right. I did feel a little bad that it was off Corey Kluber. I felt bad, just a little bit. Not bad for Tampa, but as Klub's he had his head down and he walked off the mound, I said, oh, man.
He did legendary stuff for us.
If it could have been against anybody else, but, I mean, why couldn't they bring back Fernando Rodney with his tilted cap out there? I mean, that would have been great. But anyhow, we're moving on, and congrats to the Guards, and let's go. Let's start spreading the news, baby. We're going to New York on Tuesday. Oh, by the way, Major League Baseball finally felt it was okay to release the game times. So now we know when these games are going to be played. And as you knew, when it was going to be in New York, it was going to be primetime city, baby. So it's 7:37 on Tuesday, Thursday. And I think when it comes back to Cleveland, you'll probably see the same game times as well. Not sure about Sunday yet, though. We'll see. Because they don't want to go up against the NFL like they did last night with the Mets and Padres. They get killed in the ratings last night, even though it was a New York market. The NFL just blew them away. Also, it was fun to see the Padres beat the Mets last night. I thought that was kind of fun in New York and shut those folks up. So let's get rid of both New York teams here in about a 15-day period. Goodbye, Mets. Goodbye, Yankees. And let's move on and have a good time. So go Cleveland. That was pretty awesome. Tito, I'm running out of superlatives for Tito because he does such
he's a beauty, man.
Job. He is. By the way, Jim Ballard is going to be the guest speaker today at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Luncheon Club. If you're with us, you're already with us, but you may want to tell folks, hey, spread the word, spread the news. Click on the Pro Football Hall of Fame Luncheon Club Facebook page. You can catch it here as well on the Stark Media YouTube page. We are here every Monday throughout the Hall of Fame Luncheon Club season. Great guest speakers, great banter back and forth with my friend over here, TJ. And as we kind of review the weekend and we get you ready for a big week of sports nationally, regionally, and more importantly, locally here on Stark Media. And also another reminder, at Stark Media Team is your keywords where you want to go. That's your key phrase, okay? At Stark Media Team on Twitter, a Stark Media Facebook page, Instagram, and, of course, the Stark Media YouTube page as well. All right, we started off with the positive. We always want to do that here on a Monday. Now we'll get to the negative.
Oh, no. No tubas today, partner.
Ooh, no tubas today. 30-28.
Ugh.
Again, reinventing the wheel on how to lose football games. And as I was watching the game, I was out and about yesterday doing some things. Was checking in on some of the group texts, and I could feel the frustration oozing through the phone about coaching decisions, about bad tackling. What were your thoughts on just the game itself? Because I don't know about you, but when a Cleveland team goes up 14-0 at home, it's almost a guaranteed loss.
Yeah.
You just know it's going to come. You know it's happening.
I kind of held back on any posting on social media when I kind of flipped on late. I want to say they were 6-7 minutes into the first quarter already. I'm thinking, wow, they're 14-0. You know what? This is a Browns team that, you know what, when they get things figured out, they're going to be a good team. Thankfully, I held off on that post. Was highly disappointed. One of the things I did post about was the fact that you get inside the 5-yard line and you start lining up in shotgun. You've got arguably the best tailback in the NFL in Nick Chubb.
17 carries, by the way.
One of the best offensive lines from left tackle to right tackle, including the tight end, David Njoku. And you're in shotgun. You're not lined up in the jumbo set, heavy, I formation, run it downhill, run it down her throat. If you can stop it, try to. But we're coming at you, and we're going to tell you, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
But you're going into shotgun. And luckily, they got bailed out by a penalty on that series, which was a roughing the passer. Yeah. And then you're able to come in and do the I form and do what you should have done in the first place. I think the coaching staff, to me, is way in over their heads. I think Kevin Stefanski caught a lot of people off guard when they first got there. I think it's caught up to him now. Kind of like, let's call it the RG3 effect and the Colin Kaepernick effect.
Oh, boy.
Remember the first year they come in and they're running that read, they're running that read option, and the quarterbacks run the ball. Defensive coordinators in the NFL do not get paid $1 million a year to let quarterbacks run on them. Those quarterbacks did not run on anybody the following year.
Nope.
Kevin Stefanski and his staff, himself, his offense, they caught people off guard the first year. Yeah. Now these teams have wised up to it. Joe Wood. This is a Chargers team that was not running the ball effectively on anyone until yesterday.
League last.
And you hit it, Sammy. Why are you not handing the ball off to Nick Chubb in the second half of that football game?
17 carries on the afternoon. He still went over 100 despite not getting the ball enough. He had 2 touchdowns, a terrific breakaway run for a score. I don't understand, and you make a great point about the league. Look, this league, as much as I make fun of it for all the overkill and stuffing 30 coaches into a box and all this nonsense that goes on, there are a lot of smart people in this league, either running an offense or a defense. They will catch up to you. If you put enough stuff out on film or in live action in front of live eyeballs, they are going to catch up to you. And that's exactly what happened again. And here's another thing. I'll go a little step further. And people talk about, well, Stefanski, he led this team to a playoff win. He did it on the road. He beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, first of all, Kevin Stefanski wasn't even in the building.
Bill Callahan. Let's give the credit to him.
Yeah, he was at home in his basement, okay? Number 2, it was Van Pelt who was calling the plays.
Yep.
Number 3, it was during COVID, and there was nobody in the stands. So it wasn't even, don't tell me that Heinz Field was a hostile environment that night, because it wasn't. There was nobody there. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers quit on the very first play. How many times have we seen the fumble and Roethlisberger doesn't go down on a knee to get it at the goal line, the Browns score, and then the game's over from there. So is it time? We already know the seat's hot. It's got to be.
100%.
It might even be hotter up in Berea than we realize now. But how much longer are you going to go with what we have? And that is Stefanski / Woods. And I'm at the point where I'm going to come down from the mountain if I'm Jimmy, and I'm going to say, you're going to hand duties off to Van Pelt, and he's going to call the plays.
Yeah.
You get this team ready to play, and I want to see a little fire. I know it's not really in him, but I got to see some, or we're going to just keep doing what we're doing here.
I want to take back a little message that I said there previously about overhauling the entire staff. the one guy that I have a lot of respect for, Bill Callahan,
Bill Callahan.
one of the greatest offensive line coaches we've ever seen in
Yep.
the game of football. He's one of the guys to me that's really one of the only bright spots. I think if you're Jimmy Haslam, you got to think, man, how did I ever let Greg Williams get out of the building? How did I ever let a guy that commanded respect, got everybody's attention, was feared around the NFL for how he kind of went about his approach and tactics for lighting up a game? I mean, hell, he put a bounty out on Brett Favre, for gosh sake.
At least he Greg may not have been the brightest bulb as far as play calling late in games, because I remember days when we had guys lined up 80 yards off the line of scrimmage. But he got his guys in that caged animal attitude of how playing.
Yep.
Do you think Keith Wakefield would go for this? Attitude and effort.
Yep.
I'm not seeing it. Myles Garrett, did you have it sack? No, you didn't. Did you have it? No, you didn't. And well, Myles was in a car crash. Well, guess what? It was Myles Garrett's fault he was in the car crash. Okay? He was going an excess amount of speed on a rainy rural road out on Route 94. I don't want to hear any more apologies for Myles Garrett. Bro, you need to start making some plays.
Yep.
You better start making some plays. Clowney was back yesterday. That should have helped Myles Garrett, take some of the pressure off. I thought, I hate to do this, Nordonia, Ohio State, Denzel Ward.
Oh.
Third concussion. He can't stay healthy. He got burned a couple times yesterday. Didn't turn around looking for the ball. How much longer are we going to go here? The defense, TJ, was supposed to be the guiding light for this team until Deshaun, and if Deshaun gets back this year. Everybody was talking about how great the defense is, how much talent is on the defensive side of the ball. Is it really? Is it really?
Didn't look like it yesterday.
I mean, how much do you go the blame Joe Woods versus the talent we have on the defensive side of the ball? There's got to be something in there somewhere.
There is. Another guy that I expected to really kind of step up and flex his muscle by now is JOK. I mean, where's he been at? And you talk about the defensive ends. We're supposed to have two of the premier top talent defensive ends.
That's what they'll tell you
in the league. That's what
they'll tell you.
That's what they're going to sell you.
Yep.
And you haven't seen it. Everybody has been talking about Myles and where is he at in fourth quarters. He wasn't there the entire ball game yesterday.
Not the entire ball game.
If you're not going to get pressure against that quarterback from the Chargers, we've seen the numbers statistically. What he's done his first couple of years in the league, he's up there in the categories of best ever in the first 3 years.
Yep.
His completions, the touchdowns, the energy he brings. It's tough to watch, because I think I saw the stat between 3 interceptions, 3 bad calls. This is an undefeated NFL football team right now. The Jets game, they found a way to lose to the Falcons, and what they did yesterday, those are 3 games that we should have won, and they did.
You brought up the name Greg Williams, and again, he had his shortcomings, but he would have you ready to play.
Oh yeah,
and he was a pretty decent D coordinator for a period of time.
He commanded the attention of the locker room.
NFL. You know what Greg Williams would have had those guys doing yesterday? You know what he would have had them practicing all week? Oh wait, we don't hit during the week anymore. He would have said, "Fellas," he would have put a picture. He would have put a big picture of Justin Herbert up on the grease board, and he would have put a big circle around his rib cage. You know where I'm going here. He'd have said, "Fellas, I want you to hit him in the ribs as hard and as many times as you can, and we're going to knock him out of the game."
Yep,
that's what they should have done yesterday. Didn't even come close.
And the first guy to do it, I'm taking you to Morton Steakhouse. Get whatever the hell you want.
Right.
It's on me.
Yeah. We're not going to put a bounty, but we're going to give you a steak.
Yep.
And we never saw it. We never saw it. And folks, I know it might sound a little mean-spirited, but it's the NFL.
It's a game of football.
And it's men, and it's a battle, and it's a violent game. And if you want to win in this league, you take care of the X factor on the other team. Herbert's the guy that's going to beat you. You should have taken him out of the game. You jam your helmet in his ribs. You punch him when he's in the pile. You poke at the rib cage. You do whatever you have to do. And then Austin Eckler, who came in to the day with 94 yards total on the season. He runs for 173 yards on 16 carries. and a touchdown. He averaged almost 11 yards per carry. Austin Eckler. Not only did you not get to Justin Herbert, you couldn't tackle Austin Eckler. You couldn't tackle Kelly. He went 10 for 49. You couldn't guard Mike Williams, 10 for $134. Averaged 15 yards a catch. I mean, how many yards? I didn't see the final numbers. I believe there was well over 750 yards of offense yesterday. And the Chargers had a lot. They had a lot. They did. They had a lot. They had a lot of just gash plays yesterday. So what have we been hearing the last several weeks? Well, we know what we need to fix. We're gonna fix it. We can't let some of these things happen. Also yesterday, John Johnson III literally lost his head yesterday. He lost his helmet. He picked it up and he slammed it to the ground because of a penalty he thought should be. And he was right. He was right. It was a blindside block on, I forget who it was for the Browns. It should have been called. Officials didn't see it or didn't want to call it or were instructed not to call it, whatever. So he gets his helmet, flag 15 yards. You can't lose your composure.
Yep.
And Stefanski touched on that, and I think he was pointing at JJ3 the entire postgame yesterday with his comments. But again, are these comments going to be received? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if anybody fears Kevin Stefanski in the locker room. So that's why we keep seeing the same thing over and over again. Same mistakes.
And we can transition to a sweeter topic here as we talk maybe a little Buckeye football. But
yes.
I will tell you this, Sam, from one thing that you said, some people are going to say, oh, well, the game of football has changed. You can't go after the quarterback like that. No, that's horse crap. That's bullshit. If you do not affect the quarterback, which I will tell you, when I was at Ohio State and Mr. Haycock was our defensive coordinator,
Jimmy.
In every one of those defensive players' lockers was a sign that had the opposing quarterback that we were playing that week, and I'll never forget, Drew Tate from Iowa. It said, we are going to affect this quarterback. We are not going to win unless we affect this quarterback. And by affect, exactly what you said, hit him in the ribs. Everything's clean, but when we get a chance to take him down to the ground, force him to have to get back up, lose energy, we're not going to take any bad shots. We're not going to get any roughing the passer calls. But anytime that we have a chance to affect the quarterback, whether it's right down the street, as you mentioned, Wakefield, at a school like Perry, or it's at Ohio State, or it's with the Cleveland Browns, if you do not affect the quarterback, you will not win the game. The team's quarterback that has the cleaner pocket, who can sit around there and dissect you, you give them 3 to 4 seconds of a clean pocket, you are going to lose the football game. And we were not able to affect Justin Herbert. If you find a way to get to him, we win that game. And the only other topic is, have they pulled all those drink chips yet for Cade York?
Oh, my man. Two misses yesterday.
He got free drinks in week 1, man. He's paying everybody's bar tab now.
Wow. And here's the tough thing. That was a pretty tame day in Cleveland yesterday.
Yeah.
Sunny. There was not much wind. Even, all the talk of the swirling winds and the flags at different ends of the stadium. He was kicking into the end of the stadium, which is easier to kick into. And by all accounts, that was a very makeable day for field goals for whoever yesterday. And Cade, he missed them both. And the one was he missed badly. The one at the end, you knew it was wrong, but I kept thinking, it's going to hook back, and he drew it too far. The 45-yard field goal was shanked badly. So now you know how kickers are up here.
Oh boy,
that's 2. When does it? I mean, here he's thinking, oh my God, I'm a 4th-round pick. I made a game winner. My first game was a Cleveland Brown. Now they're so fragile, and even folks like Cade York, there's a mental part of it. I mean,
before you know it, Jim Carrey's going to be coming to Berea. He's going to be making Ace Ventura number 4. We're going to have a 4th sequel.
I mean,
Finkel and Einhorn, man.
That's why you took him in the 4th round. I mean, you got to make those kicks.
Yep.
You have to.
It wasn't like kickers that high. It's because you expect them to step in there and be able to make those.
Isn't a.
I'll give you a little bit of leeway on a 54-yarder. because that's a long field goal. But a 45-yarder, like you said, and that was a bad miss,
Yeah.
that's unacceptable.
And nowadays,
50
even
to
when you're
55 should be
it should
automatic
be
for an
automatic.
NFL kick.
It should. And it was a great track. Grass is in great shape. I mean, it was perfect. And he shanked it. So, it's weird the conversation we might be having today if he makes that field goal. It's 31-30. The Browns are 3-2. They're getting ready for Bill Belichick coming in on Sunday, who just spanked the Lions 29-0 yesterday. I don't think that wasn't a little bit of a payback for Belichick for the Lions dismissing his guy, Matt Patricia. He wanted to stick it right in there, and he did. But if the Browns win yesterday, again on a field goal by Cade York, what's the conversation? What do you think the conversation would be today? Would it be? I don't think it would be all kisses and roses today because of what the defense allowed and some of the other mental mistakes we made. Now, the Browns fans with the orange and brown glasses on don't look at it the way maybe you and I do. And that's okay.
They're just happy. They're just
happy to win, and they made it back to the Muni lot, and they didn't have to have their stomach pumped. All right, they're happy. All right. You and I look at this a little differently. Not like coaches, but you know what? There's always something to improve on and talk about and look at. How could they win the game 31-30? Rah rah. How are you feeling today? Beside that, because there's still a lot of things that need attention to. A lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot that needs to be attended to, and it's tough because you mentioned those fans. You and I are fans. I kind of feel thankful that I'm fans. I'm a fan of a lot of other NFL teams than just the Browns, but they deserve more. They expect better.
I know.
And they deserve better. And that's the one. That's the group of people I really feel bad for because this isn't something that just happened this year. I mean, we've gone through the 0-16s with Hugh and
1-15
and the years back in the 80s with all that drama in the playoffs, and it's so frustrating for that fan base. You understand why they may need to go and have their stomachs pumped because the only thing that's going to cure that pain is a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, it's been a rough go. We are broadcasting live here from Tozzis on 12th. Sam Berkwood, TJ Downing, another edition of Spitballing with Sammy B. We're here every Monday for our Pro Football Hall of Fame Luncheon Club guest speaker of the week. Today, it's our very own Jim Ballard, College Football Hall of Famer, stood at the University of Mount Union. Was it the University of Mount or was it Mount Union College when Jimmy was there?
Mount Union College.
It was Mount Union College. So things have certainly changed there a little bit. And Jimmy will be taking the podium at about 12:10 here today. And we'll be joining live, and we got all that good stuff going on. Again, every Monday we're here. And, of course, we got 3 more trips coming up to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll have some Hall of Famers, and certainly looking forward to that as well. But turning to the high school portion, what stuck out to you this weekend as we are in week 9 already? I have a theory. I don't know if it's a theory. Yeah, I think it's a theory. And it may not be very popular, and I'll get to that in a minute. But what are your thoughts? What were your thoughts about Friday night and what you saw and what you heard and what you read about?
I am very, very impressed by what I saw from the McKinley Bulldogs. Had a chance to call that game. I know what I'm going to hear from you because the game you called was an absolute thriller.
Oh.
And I know that you probably walked away super impressed by Drew DeShields. I'm sure you're still very impressed by Brendan Zurbrugg. I think those are – we've said it for a long time. Those are 2 of the premier quarterbacks, not only in Northeast Ohio, but the state of Ohio.
Yep.
Those guys are both going to be playing big-time college football. You'll talk about that great game, but I got a chance to see McKinley and Jackson call that game on 99.7 with our friends over at iHeartRadio. And, man, we knew coming into the season or coming into week 5 that McKinley was struggling. Lost a couple ones they should have won, maybe the one against Kaufman. They got beat handily by Fitch, and, they probably should have beat Mentor, but that McKinley football team is getting better. I was very impressed by Keaton Rohde and the way he handled the offense with his arm and with his legs. Nino Hill, a sophomore, is a stud. We've all known that. Dante McClellan, watch out for this kid. And really, that was the difference in that ball game. He was our finally HereOhio.com player of the game for 2 defensive touchdowns. One was a 58-yard interception return. The other, he was just Johnny on the spot, and there was a big hit on on Rhodey they put the young man in, Lucas Eckerman.
Yep.
Jackson finally made the change. And that's a guy that Jim Ballard works with. So, as we're calling the game, I know what this kid brings to the table. Man, is he an athlete. Eckerman has track speed. His father, who played a lot of great baseball around the area.
Good. Love Randy.
Comes from great stock. And the arm is there. They scored points. And nothing against Joe Latarullo. I thought he's shown signs of brightness for the Jackson Polar Bears as well. But I think the future is with Eckerman. It's just when you finally get your chance as a freshman, he comes out and he starts the second half. He climbed the pocket trying to get out of the end zone, and a guy hits him from the backside, and the ball comes out.
Yeah.
That's stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Dante was right there, scooped and got into the end zone. But Dante McClellan, he's a threat. There's a lot of talent on this McKinley team, and I said it from the beginning of the year. I thought that this was going to be, in Week 10, one of the more closer, competitive Massillon-McKinley games that we've seen in a long time. I'll say McKinley-Massillon now because one side or the other is going to get pissed. Who you say
cover yourself.
We're in Canton, so we'll say McKinley-Massillon.
Cover yourself.
I think it's shaping up to be that way. Massillon's going to have a week off here. They're just going to have the JV game cooking here against a Canadian prep team. McKinley is going to go and take my Golden Eagles on, which they got a big victory over Louisville. That's not really saying a whole lot right now, but I think this McKinley football team is getting really good. Massillon is still the top dog in the area. I think Week 10 is shaping up to be pretty special.
I hope that you are correct, because I think we all deserve, and I mean everybody, I think we all deserve a McKinley-Massillon instant classic.
Yes.
Don't you think we're due?
We are due.
I mean, we've had some good games. Don't get me wrong.
It's been since you called the Dominique Robinson one when he went vertical and
torpedoed
then
into the end zone at Old Fawcett.
That was, 2015, 16? I think that was Nate's first year.
16. Dominic is now with the Bears, so yeah.
How about that? He's with the Bears making sacks as a defensive
How about
end.
that? Get Dominic Robinson on this team, for God's sake. So I think we all deserve an instant classic between McKinley and Massillon. We deserve a 60-degree sunny day with a little bit of breeze. We deserve the fall foliage in the leaves changing. We deserve a packed house. Okay, I mean packed house. We deserve great tailgating weather. We deserve everybody to be healthy and full strength, to have a great week of activities building up with bonfires, parades, lunches, dinners, rallies. We deserve all that, okay? And I'm hoping that this is going to be one of the better Massillon-McKinley games. I'm hoping. I don't know that I'm there yet, but I'm hoping that you are correct. I go back and I look at, you mentioned McKinley's losses. Menor, who has not been the Menor of old
now,
but they're starting to cook a little bit if you follow along. Fitch, very good football team. Massillon destroyed them, but Fitch is a pretty good football team. You're right. McKinley should have beat Dublin Kaufman. They had that one in their pocket. I don't know what happened with the Perry game. Now that a couple weeks have gone by, I'm not sure I understand what happened there. So there's your 4 losses. And if you read some of the comments around social media and whatever, people are saying, okay, well, McKinley's won 4 in a row, but look who they've played. Then they'll take it a step further, and by they, I say some of the public. They're saying, well, it's the Federal League. How do you rebuttal those comments that are hanging out there? And there may be some validity to that. There may be. How do you read that? Because I got some, like I said, I got some theories.
I think Jackson's a good football team. They're a tough physical football team. I think Jay Rohr's doing a good job coaching those guys up in the trenches. I think they do a great job as well. So, hey, listen, take the 2 defensive touchdowns away from McKinley, and that's a 26-23 ball game. Okay, beating Hoover, I think at that time was pretty good. I mean, Hoover, they're not a bad football team. Their record proved that theory true. Beating up on Green, I think Green was a little bit banged up. I don't think they're as good defensively right now as what they were earlier in the season. And if you find a way to affect that quarterback, Robbie Klockner, when he gets all the time to sit back in the pocket
Pick
and
you
can
apart.
dissect you and get it to Baglia, you're going to be in trouble.
Pick you apart.
So, hey, is the Federal League stout in the state of Ohio? Not necessarily. Are they still probably one of the tougher leagues in the county or in the area? Yes. I mean, they get after it. It's always going to be a physical game, but it's not going to be 30, 40, 50-point games. I mean,
And remember what McKinley did to Lake, too.
Yeah.
After being down, was it 14-0? They
Yep.
rip off the next 30 points, and they win the game. I don't think McKinley is diverse enough yet. They've got to. I know Keaton's getting better.
Yep.
But I think they need to get better in the passing game. They need a little bit more. I'm not saying go crazy with tricks and everything, but I think I can't put my finger on it, but it's something else that they're going to need if they want to compete with the Maslins. And then if they would get into the next level, hey, you may be facing Menor again.
Yeah.
Okay. You may see Menor again. You may have to deal with a Fitch or an Ignatius. They need another component to that offense. It looks to me like it's very vanilla, but it's very effective. Basically, Keaton is getting the ball and turning around and just shoving it in the tummy of Nino Hill and saying, go for it. That's only going to get you so far against some of the competition that's coming around the corner. I don't mean to disparage what he's done, but I'm just telling you what I see.
And I think he turned the corner a little bit against Jackson on Friday night. There were some home run shots he took. A couple were a little bit deep, but a little bit over the hands. But, I mean, they were nice footballs that he was throwing downfield. The one thing I think they have going for them, which is in the trenches, guys like Ovani Ivory,
they got a nice
Garrett
line.
McCole, Riley Burt. These guys can play, man. They've got Javon Dunn. They've got a lot of nice pieces that have all mixed together. The pass rush with Brian Foster and forgetting the young man's name here. That you got Foster, Kyler Jenkins. They've got some ability there to be able to get after people. We do want to make mention, Sam, you're going to be on the call for Week 10 on Rock 106 and iHeartRadio app. We're also going to have a party down at Centennial Plaza. We want to pack this place. We've got some great sponsors that have gotten behind it. We're going to do like a full breakdown with Jim Ballard, Mark Milano, Drew Strackman, Jeff Tyler. The whole Stark Media team is going to be down there starting about 10 o'clock. And we're going to have some former or some players, some coaches that have wrapped up their regular season to come in and talk playoffs. If you want to know kind of where the playoffs stand right now, go to our Facebook page. I'll put the rest of them on Twitter. But we've got hypotheticals. If the season ended right now, we'll show you where your team or who your team would be playing. We got the computer rankings up there, all that updated. So go check that stuff out. But we're going to have the party down there. I'm going to be doing the sideline reporting for WHS TV. We're going to have the game. Dave Sheets, Palma. These guys are going to call the game. I'm going to be doing live updates down on the field. I'm going to get both the coaches to check in with us. We'll be interviewing players. We'll be doing a lot of different neat things. And then we are going to pipe in that live feed to the big screen right down there at Centennial Plaza. So at 2 o'clock, anybody from Canton City that doesn't want to make the trip over there out west, you can check us out right on the TV down there. Go to Jersey's. Check out the whole crew down there. You got the food. You got the beverages. It's going to be a great party. Stark Media team's going to be there, Centennial Plaza, for the big game, Week 10, 2 o'clock start, 10 o'clock catch us down there with the live broadcast. So we've got you covered, whether it's on radio with you and Jeff Shreve, whether it's myself and Sheets and Palma doing the WHS TV, which they do a phenomenal job, better than anybody else around as far as the TV broadcast goes. So make sure to check it out. I know for those that aren't going to be able to get to Centennial Plaza, you can just pay the 10 or 12 bucks, I think it is, to get it live at your house. So check it out. We got a lot of great things coming down the line. And even this Saturday, come and check out the party at the VFW in Canton on Mahoning Road. The Leathernecks Nation MC, they're having a huge bash. It's for veterans helping veterans. Halloween parties are here, man. Dress up. They have a bunch of raffle items. And it really goes to a cause that you and I see fitting, that there's veterans out there that are struggling, that need help. I got a chance to see this last week. It was last Thursday. I stopped down at the Sam Center in Maslin, and I saw these guys serve over 6,000 pounds of food to over 200 veteran families in need from the Stark County area. And to see the look on people's faces, knowing, giving back, helping, taking care of people that have paid and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Get behind these guys, man. I got the picture up on our Facebook page right now. You can check it out. Veterans Helping Veterans at the Leathernecks Nation MC, the Ma Deuce chapter right here in Canton. Get all that information. The flyers up there. Go check them out this Saturday. I'm going to be there. Jim's going to be there. My dad. We're gonna have a lot of fun down there. Cocktails, food. Check out the food you got coming in. Hog Heaven's going to be there.
Oh.
You've got the Eagles and Maslin, Custard Corner, Lobies. It's going to be a phenomenal time, man.
So spread the word. That's coming up this Saturday. So at the Centennial Plaza, I want to get to my theory on the high school here in a minute around here. But Centennial Plaza starts at 10 a.m.
Yep.
What else we got going? We can bring it in Metallica, Bon Jovi.
I
bringing
think
Tupac back. What's our entertainment looking like on Saturday for the McKinley Maslin?
Right now, we're working on Huey Lewis in the news.
Get Donnie Harris, bring him back. Haul him in here again. But that'll be cool. I'm sure you guys have some great entertainment going on down there. And again, praying for nice weather.
Yes, yes.
It's been a while since we've had exquisite McKinley Maslin weather. Again, I think sunny, even mid 50s with sun would be perfect for the Bulldogs and the Tigers. So give us a little love on the big day, and hopefully we can all enjoy that. All right. So we're going to get up to the podium here in just a couple of minutes. Again, Jim Ballard is going to be the guest speaker today. We are live at Tozzis on 12th. Sam Burke with TJ Downing on the Stark Media YouTube channel. Also, check out the Pro Football Today Luncheon Club Facebook page as well. Okay. I have a theory. It does bother me to say this a little bit because I've been doing this for 32 years now and have great relationships with all the coaches and the fans and the kids' moms and dads and other media friends and so on and so forth. But as I see it today on, what is this, October the 9th, 2022, in my opinion.
We're the 10th already.
We're the 10th. Oh, my God. Happy birthday, Mom, upstairs.
Times. Yep.
Love you.
Time's flying by.
I think it's Maslin and everybody else.
It is. They're the best team in the area from top to bottom. I mean, Jalen Slaughter's gotten so much better. They've got three think about they've been playing without Freddie Lennox.
Yeah.
Bring him back into the fold. I've said this before, and you've outside of Maslin, you got a bunch of Maslin haters out there. We all know that.
Part of the fun.
I really think that defensively, this is maybe as strong as they've been. Dorian Pringle, I think, is one of the best linebackers in the state. The defensive line is stout with Chase Bond and Marcus Moore. I mean, these guys are getting after the quarterback, stopping the run. Collision course with Hoban. You got to win a lot of games.
Inevitable,
you got to win a lot of games to get there. There would be 5 other weeks in the playoffs before you'd get to the state championship game. But I think looking at Hoban top to bottom, if you shut down Sperling, which they can do, which Maslin can do, I think.
They can shut him down.
I think they can.
He's something.
You do that. And I think this could be the year that the Tigers get it done.
You're talking about bringing home the big sausage.
Yeah, a playoff state title.
The state title.
Not what everybody, the haters outside of the city call a paper title, which was won in a poll situation. It's winning it all like the Bulldogs have 3 times. A playoff state championship.
Forgot somebody.
And the Crusaders.
How many times?
Crusaders. 3.
Okay.
Yep, and we called one of them, partner.
That's right.
And outside of them, the only ones who have ever done it is St. Thomas.
St. Tom. Yep.
So
they almost went back.
You've got the Bulldogs. You've got the two private schools in Central and St. Tom that have done it.
That's it.
I think this could be the year that Maslin can do.
Wow.
Now I still, and I know Lake's got some things they're tightening up after losing to McKinley. That could be a really good game too. That could happen maybe week 3 or 4 of the playoffs if they handle their business too. Maslin Lake, I think a lot of people would get excited about that matchup.
I think I'm going to tip my cap to Coach to George and Lake. I thought there might be a little bit of a hangover after the loss to McKinley. I did. I really did. Going on the road to Hoover, your undefeated season went by the boards. You had a 14-0 lead. Your place was rocking. And then McKinley just kind of steamrolled.
You were on that game, right?
Yeah, and I thought there might be a little, oh, man, what could have been. And maybe there was the first quarter, but they got it out of their system.
Yeah.
And they took care of their business. And again, Hoover's has never been an easy place to play, and Lake and Hoover have had some battles over the years there. So I think the Blue Streaks really acquitted themselves very nicely against a pretty good Hoover team. And, Lake's got Perry this Friday, which never know. It's one of those you never know. And then they got Green, which if you'd asked me 7 or 8 weeks ago, I'd have said Lake Green for the Federal League title.
Yeah.
Not now, but that's still going to be a heck of a game, and it's going to be a springboard for both into the postseason wherever they match up. So it's going to be, man, please tell me that there's not only 2 weeks left in the regular season. And I know we say it every year. You're going to get sick of it.
You're going to be putting your basketball schedule together before you know it, man.
It is amazing to me, and I think for me and you, because you have done a Walsh University game, and may have some more on the horizon. And I'm doing Mount Union, and we're only at like week 4 or 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you blink and you turn the page to the high school schedule, and you've doubled the games played already because they start so early. So it's just like, wow, here we are. And, Ohio State is 5 in now?
Yep.
And they've got a bye coming up, and then, things are going to get a little harder for them. But it is insane to me how fast. And that's why we love it so much, because you blink, you snap your fingers, and it's gone. And then what are we doing? Oh my God, I can't wait till football season again. So, folks, just enjoy the journey, enjoy the rivalries, enjoy every practice, every game, every tailgate. Have as much fun as you can.
And
that's all we can
after
tell
Jim gets done talking, we'll be able to catch up with Jim and Mark Milano and kind of break a couple things down a little bit more. So I'm going to start making my way up, partner.
Oh, there he goes. All right. Hey, while you're up, I literally mean this, steal somebody's water that they haven't drank out of and bring it over. I'm not going to make it if I have to go another 10 minutes without water. So TJ is heading over to get the camera set up. Here's some great stories, I'm sure, to talk about from what he's seen in high school football this year. I'm sure he'll tap into a little bit of Mount, a little bit of the Buckeyes, and a little bit of what's going on with the Cleveland Browns as well. Again, that's all coming up here live on the Stark Media YouTube channel. In just a few minutes, they'll be going up to the podium, and we'll be bringing that to you. Another thing, our upcoming schedule coming up this weekend on Rock 106.9 and the free iHeartRadio app. We've got the Canton Central Catholic Crusaders and the my man coming through. There it is. Against the Jackson Polar Bears. That will be at 7 o'clock. Stark Media YouTube channel game is going to be East Canton is going to be a part of that one. And then on 99.7 FM, still kicking that one around. We should have that information for you here by the end of the day. But in the meantime, make sure you are constantly checking us out on the social media platforms. Stark Media team on with their ice cream for the afternoon. And we're going to get ready for another edition of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Luncheon Club here at Tozzis on 12 Live on the Stark Media YouTube channel.